Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to Chic Chat Podcast, where we chat all things women. And guys, I am so excited about today's episode because it is our 1 year anniversary. Chic Chat Podcast has turned 1 year old today, and we are so excited because that whole year has went by so fast since the launch of Chit Chat Podcast a year ago. We have done episodes that you have been joining us week after week on Sundays, live at 5, what we famously say, live at 5. And we are so appreciative of all of you who've been following us since a year ago, back in October. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We have reached a milestone, a 1 year anniversary today, and we're so excited to highlight some of our favorite episodes that we've had over the year, this year, and some of our favorite guests. So they will be joining us here shortly. So before I get that started, I have a co-host who's going to be joining me today, and I am so excited to have none other than one of my homegirls, my ride or die girlfriends, who's going to always keep it real with me, and you're going to see a whole lot more of her on the podcast. So let me welcome to you guys and introduce to you guys a co-host for today, Miss Tequila Tooks.
Hello, amazing people. Thank you so much, Shadana, for allowing me to co-host with you today. As you celebrate this 1 year anniversary, you know I'm ecstatic, I'm happy, and I am looking forward to what today is going to offer. Congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
Let's chat all
Yes,
things.
yes. I'm so excited. I was like, oh my God, a year has gone by so fast. Like, where has the time gone? But when you enjoy like doing stuff like you really like doing, I mean, the time just flies by.
It does.
So I'm always all about like motherhood, sisterhood, that kind of thing, girlfriends or whatever. And so, this is just my kind of thing. I love it. So, anytime that we can get women together and, have that camaraderie and do things and support each other, encourage each other, I'm all for that. So
That's right. And I know it comes second nature for you, and you truly inspire me. And so that's why I am lucky to be your co host today. Thank you so much. And
yes,
I'm excited about today.
yay. So we're gonna get it started. Y'all, look, we had some great episodes over the whole year. And one of the great episodes that we had was our couple series. And a lot of you guys participated in a couple series back in February. It happened during, the love month of February. And we had several couples that was featured week after week after week. And these couples, kind of was interviewed, showed, tell us about their love languages, different things of that nature and what love meant to them. So we kind of got to share in on their love story and their love experience. And you guys voted on like who was your favorite couple at the end of that love series. Well, we got some highlights from that episode with a few of those guests who are coming back today, giving us some updates on their love story as it continues. So they got some good and exciting news that they're going to share with you guys. So we're going to bring on Gabby and Mark, who was our couple series winners that you guys, they was the favorite couple that was voted the favorite couple. They will be joining us. We have Tori and Alan that will be joining us. And then we have Tisha and Adam that will be joining us.
Hi, welcome back, guys.
Hey.
So we'll give them a few minutes to come in and join us. So who we have here? We got Tori.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey.
So I think we're waiting on the others to get added in here. So we'll let Jada get them added on real quick. But how are you guys?
We're good.
Great.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get started with you guys while Jada getting the other two added on here. So real quick, give us a quick highlight. What has been going on?
This. We just had a baby.
Yes. So tell us all about it.
So when we were on in February, I just had found out that I was pregnant, maybe a couple weeks prior. And then we had our baby girl August 26th, and we call her Gigi. And our beautiful baby girl.
Oh,
Awesome. Congratulations.
What's her name?
Baby.
What's her name? Give us her full name.
Her name is Lillian Grace.
Aww.
And then our last name
Grace.
is G, so we call her Gigi.
Yes. Awesome. So welcome Gigi to the world.
Yes.
And welcome to the podcast, Gigi, because we welcomed you in this world on the podcast. We look, I'm gonna tell you, the podcast host kind of like manifested your creation.
Yes.
I told your mom that she was gonna be pregnant with you, and lo and behold, it happened.
You did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yes. So, and with that being said, guys, Miss Gigi is my god baby. So I am so when I tell y'all I am so thrilled because I've been wanting a baby. Like I know I'm not gonna have no grandbaby anytime soon. So this god baby is finna be like the most spoiled god baby ever.
Yes, she's already spoiled.
Yes, honey. So yes. So welcome Gigi, and look. Congratulations, guys. Y'all already know I'm biased. I think she's the cutest thing in the world. So
thank y'all for gifting us the your winnings. So we bought Gigi diapers and wipes. So thank y'all for present.
You're more than welcome.
Oh, that makes me happy. You're welcome.
So good. So we're gonna move right on to Mark and Gabby, who was the couple that was chosen as the favorite couple at the end of the series. And again, they won the gift card for the being the winner. So they gifted to the couple that was pregnant.
Yes,
because they figured they would probably need it, which they did. So so that was so nice of you guys to do that. So tell us what's been going on with you guys. Give us a update on you guys.
A lot's been happening. We're still traveling as much as we can, and we most recently went to the British Virgin Islands back in July, and a good friend of ours is a sailor, so there were 6 of us on this really nice sailboat, and we got out to the middle of the sea. It's this place called the Indians, and we're just sitting there staring.
On July 4th.
And then I'm sitting here talking to my friend on FaceTime, and here he comes with like music really loud, and I'm just like, do you not see me talking to my friend on FaceTime? And
she totally shut me down.
Waiting. And then so finally he took the phone away from me, and I was like, what? And then he gave me this cute little note, and it said, will you marry me? Check yes or no, or maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Because nobody likes rejection.
And so I said yes, and so we got engaged.
And then she really felt bad about telling me to shut the phone off.
Right. Because that's just how we are, right? Like, don't you see I'm on the phone? Like,
I know. I was like, what is wrong with you? And then I felt bad. I turned around and everyone was filming me also. So I felt really bad.
Right. Oh, my God. But look, you got the rest of your life to make it up to him now.
That's right.
Yep.
I love it. Congratulations, guys.
Well,
I know.
You.
Look, you guys was a fan favorite. So I know the fans are going to love to hear what you guys got planned for your wedding, because you guys are adventurous. Y'all always like doing stuff and going someplace or whatever. So
yeah,
that's been y'all dating life, and and that was the story of y'all proposal. So we just can't wait to see what this wedding life is about to be like.
I know. We're still planning. We still don't know, but it's going to be fun.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Okay, so make sure Chit Chat Podcast knows something about it, so that way we can highlight it.
Maybe y'all could be there virtually.
Oh yeah,
Hey.
Or in
we would
person.
love to.
Or in person, even better.
Right, we
You
would
need a
love
power
to.
girl.
Come on down to Virginia Beach. It'll be great.
Yeah. I'm always down for some wedding cake.
There you
So
go. It'll
yeah,
be good.
yeah. Well, thank you guys. We're gonna move on to
Thank
our
you.
next
Thank you.
couple, the Herds, the new Herds, because when you guys was on the couple series, you guys was just dating.
Oh, yay.
So we went from dating to engagement and to the wedding. So you guys got to catch us all up on this.
Yay.
Yeah, we got engaged March, and then April 4th, we got married.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yes.
That was great.
I love that. They didn't wait for nothing, did they?
Right. Look, because he said he knew. He was like, he knew. So
This is
like,
the one.
I said, I said she must was the holdup because he said he knew. So yeah.
Me.
So, but yeah, because from February, you said February, April, and then what was it?
We started dating in October, and then we did the podcast in February, and I can't even remember when in March, but I want to say it was probably the first weekend in March. It was so sweet. I sent him ideas of how I wanted to be proposed to, and him and the family just, oh my goodness, it was so nice. Like on the piers, and it was nice. It was so beautiful. And then I'm not big on weddings and things like that. Like I'm very, I don't know, but I don't like big things. So I was just like, we could just go to the courthouse. And we had some really great people there cheering us on. My baby was there. It was so beautiful. It was just small, intimate, and everybody got married on that day.
Oh,
Like
wow.
everybody was there to be married. Don't even know, but it was beautiful. And then for my birthday, we celebrated my birthday and honeymoon, and we went to Sandals Ochi.
Oh, nice.
That was like
awesome.
my first vacation, anything. So I turned 40 and he went all out.
I got a butler and everything.
Look, you had to go ahead and check all the boxes on everything.
That's right.
He is so amazing. Like,
Although I met someone there that was like, you already set the bar really high, now you got to go higher, and it's going to be hard.
and do.
Look, I don't think you're gonna have no problems with that because you had your standards, you made it clear, and you told her, what you wanted, and you were just waiting on her. So and that was evident and clear when you guys was on the dating the couple series, and all of us was listening and like, yeah, Adam already know what he wants. We waiting on you, girl, to make your mind up. I
was ready, but when the proposal happened, I was just like, what is going on? Like, I had no idea at all what was going on. My wig went on right, none of that. Like, I was so exhausted because I drove to South Carolina and then to Wilmington. But it was so beautiful. The weather was nice. And yeah, the ring is gorgeous, Jada. Like it was.
The restaurant was very accommodating. So, like, I couldn't make up my mind on where I wanted to do it on that pier, but then I thought it was going to rain and stuff. So, like, inside the restaurant, they had it set up close to the pier with a beautiful. My family hooked me up because they took everything I had and just did it. Like, sitting here distracting her. while they got it ready.
Wow. So it was teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
For sure.
When everybody's supportive, you have a village that's supported and behind you guys. That's beautiful. When you have that kind of support. So, we are so excited for you guys. So look, I just feel like when he heard the last from the herds, because it's been surprises after surprises. So I just kind of feel like there's gonna be another surprise coming pretty soon. So and I can't wait, and I feel like Chit Chat Pod just we're gonna have to get the first news of it.
You will.
I
We
just
will
feel like
in February.
we just gonna have to get the first news. Yeah. I just feel like we're gonna have to be the first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations
I'm so excited.
to all of you guys. Like the proposal, the baby, just everything. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations,
awesome. Yeah, so I'll give you guys an opportunity because I know the couples haven't seen each other since February. So Gabby and Mark, I'll give you guys an opportunity if you want to say anything to Tish and Adam or Alan and Tori. So I'll give you guys an opportunity.
Well, I will say it's definitely, I feel you. It's definitely nerve-wracking proposing. We were on a boat. I had 3 people filming, and she was on FaceTime with her best friend, and I was just waiting for her to finish, and it wasn't happening.
And we're so excited.
In videos, can we just do that? I would love to see it.
Oh, we have videos.
We'll share it. We'll share it with y'all. I just feel like it's really cool. Like this moment and the last time we all met together, it's like such a special moment, and I feel like there's a bond between all of us just because we kind of were going through the same thing, except for I didn't have a baby, but that's such a momentous, such a big thing in life. So thank you guys for letting us share with you and for y'all sharing your life story with us, because it's really special.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, Adam and Tish.
I get it with the nerve too, because when I was going through the engagement, she just got back from the drive and she just wanted to go, and I had to slow her down, with excuses like, okay, they're not ready yet, so I had to hold her hostage,
Absolutely, I feel
like she knew something was up, but I guess she didn't. I don't know.
I knew a little bit because Adam is just like, I know when something up with him, I be like, this don't add up.
And I know her, so I know she a busybody, so I know she probably like, what's going on?
But I love the fact that he listened to how I wanted it to be, and he made it his in his own unique way, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great.
I think for all of us, everybody had a hand in each other's good news. Now I'm just waiting on the ferry to come sprinkle some baby dust on me.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
We're sending you the good vibes.
I touch your
It's not gonna come
Yes,
from We're not gonna have another.
No babies here. But we wish you guys all the baby vibes.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's definitely gonna happen, honey. You in the right environment. It's sprinkled. It's sprinkled. So Tori and go ahead. You guys go ahead.
I can speak for me and my husband. We love marriage, so we are just very happy for both couples of getting engaged and getting married. God honor marriage, and y'all fruit is just going to grow and multiply, and God is going to give you your heart desire. So I am touching and agreeing. We are touching and agreeing that you will have your baby, y'all will have a beautiful wedding, and God just honors it. And I'm just glad that I got to meet y'all and to see the journey that y'all are projecting and going forward in, and I'm excited for y'all.
It's great to see other couples choosing love.
Choosing love, yes, and choosing marriage, and not, it's a beautiful thing. It can be hard, but it's a beautiful thing, and God is going to honor it and bless y'all tenfold, definitely.
Thank you.
I
You
love.
guys are definitely an inspiration.
Yeah, and I love that. I love when people love because, you know, whether it's successful for some people or not, it's still a beautiful thing when it's done right. So, and this is a testament, when you see it done right and it's successful for some people. So, my hat is off to you guys for like being like coming back and sharing your story and letting us in on all of the excitement that you guys got going on. I can't wait to, continue to hear the good news or whatever. But this was exciting to me. I was like, yeah, y'all got to come back and share the news. Like, this was February and the year's not even over with yet. So y'all got to come back and share the good news because it's gonna give the rest of us hope. So y'all got to come and share. So everybody would think like the dating pool. Everybody know the dating pool ain't got just pee and poop in it. There are some good ones out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we did this in February, I already ordered the ring.
Oh.
That's
I could not tell her.
Everybody knew except for me.
I told everybody.
Oh wow!
But I'm excited for next February. I want to hear the baby news, and then I want to see Gigi all grown. To
yes,
girl, Gigi gonna be on trips with her TT.
Yeah.
I just want to give y'all encouragement about the baby thing. When we first got together, I'm older, he's older, and we tried for 2 years, and then we just gave up. Okay, and let me tell you something. We went to church, and the pastor said, "Pray over your body part." So I prayed over my room, and I said, "Jesus, I don't know what you want me to say, but I'm giving it to you." And then we got pregnant. We sold our house, moved into a camper, and then we found out we were pregnant. Wow. So I'm just want to encourage you: do not give up. God will give you your heart's desire. So please do not give up on your goal of having a baby and growing your family. So I just want to encourage you on that, because she was just a blessing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so nice. Anything else? Anyone else got anything? Tequila, you're a married woman. Anything you want to share to these couples?
No, just wish you all, congratulations in each of your lives, and those things that you wish for, just be intentional about them. Seek and you shall find, but do seek, because that's the only way you're going to find. So definitely be intentional, and all will be well. All will be well, as you all can obviously see.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys like coming back and sharing with us. And look, don't let it be y'all last time. Come back if y'all want to come back and join us for another couple series, just to chime in, give some advice, give some wisdom nuggets or whatever, because you guys are learning, along the way with your journey. Always reach back. We're open for that. We are definitely open for that. And we would love to have you guys back.
Yes, thank y'all for having us.
We'd love to be back.
Thank you so much. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats for the anniversary.
Thank you. I know. I'm so excited. Look, I didn't announce it in the beginning, but Chic Chat Podcast has officially become Chic Chat Podcast LLC. So,
nice.
So we're now Chic Chat Podcast, Chic Chat Pod LLC. So we're trying to evolve, so there's some more things that are going to be coming for Chic Chat Podcast. So we're definitely going to be doing some rebranding and doing some relaunching some other things. So there's more to come, and you'll start seeing some different stuff. So but we would definitely keep you guys abreast of all the changes.
Well, I'm excited for you, Shan. You deserve it. You guys are amazing, and you and Jada are such a good team.
I know, but my baby, she getting ready. She ready to leave the nest. So I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have to pay her to keep her.
That's right. My life is free.
Yeah.
You're nicer than me, because I wouldn't pay my kids.
Yeah, she getting ready to leave the nest, honey. So
yeah. You can give her a couple dollars.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. She lived for free, so
there's her payment.
I brought
Right.
you into this world. You owe me.
Right. Well, again, thank you guys. Look, she said I asked you to pay the gas bill. Look, y'all, it'd be like $10. No, but guys, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for joining us on our 1 anniversary episode, and come back again anytime. We would love to have you guys back. Definitely come back if there's some good news that you guys want to share. We would love to take part in you guys sharing in those good news. So we welcome it anytime. So congratulations on the marriage to the Herds. Congratulations, Gabby and Mark, on your engagement. We wish you guys the best and can't wait to have some wedding cake. And of course, to my God baby that I've been so graciously blessed with. Congratulations, Alan and Tori, for you guys, with y'all bundle of joy. So y'all are so well deserving, and I know she's gonna be blessed because you guys are great parents, and y'all are God parents. Like God is definitely like in y'all lives, so I know she's gonna be raised well. So you guys take care. Continue to watch the show. We got a men panel that will be following us later in the show. So our single ladies will be able to chime in and ask questions, and be able to get some questions answered live from our men panel. That was one of our favorite episodes back in over the year as well. So if you guys want to stay a part of the podcast and tune in and listen to that, you guys are more than welcome. But we thank you guys for tuning in and checking with us and chatting with us and reaching back. So enjoy and stay in touch.
Enjoy.
Okay, see you guys.
Stay around.
Bye.
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 So Tequila, you see how like that? I mean, I love that part.
Yeah.
That give me chill bumps, because I'm like, oh, it should give people hope. Like, yeah.
But it sounded like to me though that Chic Chat Pod was the momentum. What you think?
Girl,
From February to March? Like what? Yeah.
Look, we might have something going on. We might be brewing some stuff.
Yes.
We might need to set up a little look, I ain't gonna say that, because then people be like, why it ain't working for you? So I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna put it out there but yeah, our comments, some of our comments said, congratulations to the beautiful couples. Yes, yeah, absolutely. We are so excited for them, for all of them. And we're glad that they came back to let us know how things are going. But we're gonna have do a quick segment with our commissioner from Peach County, Georgia, Fort Valley, Georgia, Peach County. And she's going to be joining us we're 30 days out from our big national voting. So the big election, guys. So you guys know how important this election is. Everybody's seen all the debates, seen everything that needs to happen. So we're going to have Commissioner Howard come on and give us a last push for voting and what we need to do, what we need to be aware of, and just getting out there and doing our due diligence in voting. So if we can have her come on, Jada, if you go ahead. Hi, Commissioner.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing well. I was so tuned into that couple segment. I was just like all in, and I was backstage, so I couldn't say anything, but I was like, oh my God, because Sharon, you know me. I love love. I love love.
Yes.
So I was all in on that, and I was like, oh my gosh. And Vince has company, so he wasn't over here because I really wanted him to hear the beautiful stories too, because he won't admit it, but he loves love too.
You have to play it back for him so he can hear it.
I will.
Well, thank you for joining us. We are 30 days out, 29 now, but
something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from our, big election. So like, what are some important things that you feel like voters need to know and to get out, to get their voting, done? I know that some, areas are doing early voting or have started early voting. So what are some things that people need to know and be urged to, get out, in these last 30 days?
So I don't know all the laws for all of the states since I live in Georgia, but I do know that October 7th is the very last day for Georgia voters to be able to change their registration, register to vote, and things like that. So I do advise everybody to go to the My Voter page with the Georgia Secretary of State if you're in Georgia, or contact your state board of elections to find out what your page is if you're in one of the other 49 states, and find out, make sure your information is accurate. Make sure that you're listed at the right precincts, because we've had some issues where I was even affected, where I was not listed in the right precinct, and several other people who were constituents, friends, and just people I know weren't listed in the right precinct. So check your voter information to make sure that it is accurate. If you have a teenager who will be 18 before election day, on or before election day, they can go ahead and register, and they can also vote. So
Mm-hmm.
register them. If you are a convicted felon and you have completed all of the paperwork concerning your adjudication, meaning you're no longer on parole and things like that, check with your local voter registration office, because you may have your rights restored and you may be able to vote. That's a very important segment of the population, I feel, because a lot of people run on prison reform, they run on things connected to the criminal justice system. So I really think that people who have been adjudicated and who have gone through the criminal justice system should have a voice in that.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it's like from the inside. They know what the processes are like and everything. So I really think that their voices are missing a lot of times. So I really want to see them register to vote. Also, Shan mentioned that we're in an important presidential election, and it is absolutely important. I agree with her wholeheartedly there. But what I do want to add is, do not forget your down ballot candidates. Those are the candidates that are also on the ballot outside of the presidential election. Presidents are very important, and I'm not here to take away any of their importance, but the candidates that actually have an effect on your day-to-day life, they're actually your local elections. So make sure you're voting for your city council people, your county commissioners, your constitutional officers. That would be like your sheriff, your tax commissioner, your probate court judge, things like that. Those judge seats are so important. The superior court judges, superior court clerk, all of those races are very important. So please do research those candidates. And please, please, please weigh in on those, because, again, those are the candidates that affect your day to day life. So you really want to be engaged on your local level.
I agree. And yeah, I don't want to minimize the local ballots as well, because that's important. And it starts there too. Our local area, that's very important, because it affects your livelihood, it affects your homes, there first before you get to the national level. So I definitely don't want to minimize that. So people, get out and do what you necessarily have to do. If you are not registered, you still have time. Get the registration done. It is way too important. There is too much on the table in this election for us not to be voting.
Absolutely.
So we got to. I mean, this is not the time to be sitting out or be sitting on the sideline. So,
Not at all.
yeah. And if there's people who need rides to vote in polls, there's resources available to getting people to polls and all that. So, don't let that stop you. So, get out there, people. I'm serious. I'm flying home to go vote. So, it's just that serious for me. So, if it's important to you, you're gonna get it done. So, I appreciate you, Commissioner. I know that you are advocate on voting. I know you're an advocate, on democracy, period. But
Yes.
I appreciate, what you do in your local government area, but in the state of Georgia as well. So I know we was trying to get Anissa Jones on. She's running for a House representative, and she couldn't. Her schedule didn't allow her to be able to come on today. But if you do have an opportunity, if you're a Georgia resident and see her on the ballot, please afford her the opportunity to get your vote. She is so worthy. You can look up her
She
information.
is.
You can look up her information as well. I think she got Anissa Jones. We have her information from when she was on earlier, but I'll post it in our group or whatever on our Chit Chat Pod group page. But please check her out and give her support as well. You know, we definitely want to make sure she's supported. So, but thank you, Commissioner. Anything else before you leave?
So is Chick Chat Pod nonpartisan, or they don't promote? Um, I want to know before I say what I have to say.
Um,
Or should
well,
I just make a line of delineation there and say that this is on me and not Chick Chat Pod?
it's
Is that
on
okay?
you. Yeah, you can say it's
Okay,
on you.
purely on me. Of course, I don't know everybody that's on the ballots in all of the states or counties or whatever. And, so on a more detailed scale, I could only speak on my personal county ballot. But I would like to put in a plug and ask that everyone in all 50 states do cast a ballot for Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz, because that is the only way I see us going further in this country. There's this thing saying we won't go back, we won't go back. And to me, when I hear that, there's an element of double entendre there. It's not just talking about we won't go back to 2016 when we had to endure the horrors of a Trump presidency. It's also speaking to some of the things that we went through before we got a lot of rights. We don't want to go back to those times because we do have things like Project 2025, which is a very real thing, although the former president has tried to distance himself from it. No, that's a very real thing that was conceived by a conservative group, many of whom have worked with him, worked very closely with him, many of whom have been appointed by him. He knew about this thing, and he is in full support of that particular agenda. That's not an agenda that will serve anyone well outside of basically white men. It will not serve women well. It will not serve people of color well. It will not serve poor people well. So if you're not a well-to-do white man, you need to be casting a vote for Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate, Tim Walz.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. So
Thank
thank you.
you.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that you'll have another opportunity to come back on with us throughout, Chit Chat Pod journey. You know, we
I would
we
love
always
to.
welcome that. Yes, we always welcome that. I always try to pull from you, anyways, when it comes to anything political. Because I know you're gonna always, you're gonna be educated on it, and plus you're gonna do your research and have your details, and you're gonna always come with the facts. So I appreciate that in you, and plus I've served under you, supporting you on your campaign as well, and
Yes, and
you
I
mentor,
appreciate it to this
yeah,
day.
yeah, and you mentored my son. He was a junior commissioner up under you.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, so I appreciate you and support the things that you do and the service that you do for your community and for your state. So thank you again, and we're so glad that you was able to join us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Okay, we will see you another time. We're gonna conclude this portion of Chit Chat Podcast, and we're gonna transition to our men panel, where our women will be joining us, asking questions to our men on a live panel. So, Tequila.
Yeah, so let's get ready for the men. But before we do, I just want to say that, it's important for everyone to understand that, the elections are a part of, your democracy and your civic responsibility. Voting is crucial. It's just a tool for shaping society and the future for yourself and for your kids and your kids' kids. So just keep that in mind, when you go out there and vote. That's it.
And I think people don't realize that, like, our voting, sometimes it doesn't even affect us today. It affects our children. Like, it affects things that can happen 4 years from now, 5 years from now. So we're talking about things that will be affecting, years from now. We're like the things that have, Supreme Court be trying to roll back and change and all this. This is stuff that was affected years ago. And so, we have to make sure that when we're voting, when they're trying to take those rights away, it's because, if they know how important it is if they take it away. They're taking away a voice, they taking away the strength of those rights. So we got to make sure we don't give that away. We don't give that to them. So we need to exercise that. We need to exercise that wholeheartedly. Show up at polls, do what we're supposed to do, and make our voice be heard.
Your voice be heard. And like Shanita was saying, don't minimize the candidates that are down the ballot, because those are pivotal to your day-to-day now. Those are the people who will more or less like directly affect you in your your local society. So that's why they are very important. And so enough emphasis is not put on those candidates, but don't minimize it at all. Do your research, and if you don't, find someone who you trust and follow their lead, because it's important.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
I know. I'm excited. So I'm definitely going back home to vote, because I was like, I'm not going to miss that opportunity.
I know you are, girl. I know you are.
Yeah, I'm gonna be right there.
Right.
Early. Right there in Fort Valley early. Get my vote on. But we're gonna transition to one of our favorite episodes that we had a live we had a men panel where women were able to ask questions and get the true honest opinion of a man. They wanted to know your questions from dating and your marriage, relationships, parenting, all that stuff. And these men brought it to them, just, gave it to them just like they wanted it. And it was one of our most watched episodes. So we bringing it back to you guys just because it was one of the favorites. So it was a fan favorite. So you guys got it back today on the anniversary date. So without further ado, we're going to bring our men panel on and conclude our show with the men panel. And you ladies, pop those questions in the chat.
All right. And don't be shy, ladies. Do not be shy.
Hey, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, look, guys. So, I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves real quick, because I know we got some new ladies probably wasn't here when you guys came on the first time, and then we got a couple of new guys that have been added to the panel. So I'm gonna let you quickly, give us a quick little synopsis of who you are, where you where you're from, whatever you want to tell us. But we're gonna, as the women are, getting their questions ready. So by the time they get done with that, you guys get done with that, they'll have some questions popping up for you guys in the chat. But we'll start with you, Mr. Willie Carter.
Hi, Mr. Willie. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. My name is Willie Carter. Shan is my first cousin. Just so proud of you. I'm proud of the work you're doing, how you're making the community better. A little bit about myself. I just retired from the Navy after 37 years. So I recently purchased a home and moved back to Georgia from Northern Virginia. So we're settling in. My wife, I think she's listening in. She manages an anesthesia group here in North Georgia. So we settled back into this Southern living, and I look forward to participating in the panel today.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay. Yo Soy.
Hey, can you hear me?
Uh-huh. Oh, We dropped him.
Awesome.
Okay. We'll pick back up with him when he gets back on. Okay, Robert.
Hey, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing? My name is Robert. I'm here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 10-year military vet. Well, in the Army. But other than that, I'm ready for your questions.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. All right, Mr. James.
Hey, Shan. Hey, panel. Hey, ladies online. A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Left for the Air Force.
You're breaking up, James.
Looks like, is the connection still up? Because I'm buffering. Can you hear me?
Uh-huh, we can hear you. We'll come back to you, James.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, but you're chopping up still.
All right. I'm gonna switch connections and I'll get back on, okay?
Okay. All right. All right,
I'll be right back.
Donnie.
All right, we're gonna give it a shot myself. Hopefully I don't cut out on y'all. My name's Donnie. I am in the Middle Georgia area, born and raised here. I currently am a business owner, mostly construction. I met Shan through one of the places she worked at a floor shop here in Warner Robins area through Julia. She's probably in there peeping somewhere in the next room somewhere. Yeah, what we're gonna say, but
leave my friend alone.
Yeah, a little background on me. I've been married twice. I have one child through the second marriage. So that would be my relationship status. So my name's Donnie, but I answer to anything because I have been married twice, so I know when you're talking to me.
So. And Donnie gonna give it to you raw and uncut.
I'm gonna try. I'm try to be nice.
Well, thank you, Donnie, for joining us. All right, Trey.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Trey. Shan is my cousin, Ashley and Willie. I'm my Uncle Billy Joe. That's my uncle. So I'm located in the DC area. I'm from South Georgia. Currently working operations right now, and I am single with no kids. I'm ready for these questions.
And he's 30, younger ladies. He's 30. So we got young people on here. So he's single, and he a good catch too. So we're gonna go back to James. He's back.
Yes, you can hear me okay now?
Uh-huh.
All right, we'll give it a shot. So in case anyone missed it, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Eventually went in the Air Force when I was 19, did 30 years active duty Air Force. Lived in several states, Midwest, South, and East Coast. I have been single, married for 14 years, divorced for 8. Birthed 3 kids, raised 4, all girls, got a set of twins. Age range span from 28 is my oldest, and 17-year-old twins are my youngest. And like I said, I have played the role of the single guy, the single parent, the married guy, and then the divorced co-parent. So all those roles kind of rolled in together. Was raised by a mother, father in the house, but kind of absent. And so it was kind of my mother and my sister. So a lot of female influences in my life that way that have played a role in how I respond and react to women. Don't claim to be an authority, but I pay attention. Okay. And I'm happy to be here. That's it.
All right, James. Thank you. I know that the last time we did this panel, the women had a lot of questions and you guys brought the answers. So I feel like they're going to bring it this time. So we are ready for them. Jada, you have any questions ready for them that you're going to pop up? So Jada's going to pop up some questions. And you guys are at liberum to like, hey, I'll chime in and answer this, or I got something, to add to this. So, you know, however, however you guys want to proceed, that's how we're gonna do it. Um, so let the questions get dropped, Jada. So while we're waiting on Jada to drop the questions, I have a question. So since I know some of you guys are I know Willie is married, so this won't be a question for you. But my single men that are on the panel, because women are having such a hard time um, in the dating world, and they feel like the dating pool is like not offering much. Um, you know, what advice would you give these ladies who, are done with looking at dating apps and other means of resources for dating? Like,
All right, I'll chime in first. This advice I want to give is not necessarily how you meet somebody. I'm talking about what should happen once you meet me, right?
mm-hmm.
So I think oftentimes what happens is when you meet somebody, both the male and the female counterpart are on their best behavior. And so who you're actually talking to and who you're actually dealing with in those opening weeks and months is their representative, right? Because they're trying to put the best foot forward. And once you get comfortable with them and you start talking to them, they start asking you, you married, were you married before? Do you have kids? What happened to the last guy? Like, what was his thing? And you start telling them things that you expect in a man, things that you want, all of that. Well, if who you're actually talking to is that guy's representative and not him, you may not get an accurate representation of who you're dealing with because he's going to play to what you told him, right? He's going to try to do all the things that you said that you wanted in a man and do less of the things that you didn't want in a man, even if that is who he really is. Okay. But in math, standard deviation, people always regress back to the mean, right? So over time, sometimes it takes 3 weeks, sometimes it takes 3 years. All the guards are going to come down and that guy is going to show you who he really is. And in the words of Maya Angelou, when they show you, believe them, right? And so what I would say to you is don't lay all your cards out up front.
That's right.
I don't tell a woman what I expect out of a woman. I sit back and I watch. Mm-hmm. And I see if the way she represents herself is checking my boxes. All right. If I'm out there and I'm up to no good, I'm gonna play to all the things that you wanted, and I'm gonna get those things. And then by the time you figure out who I really am, you're so vested in me that you continue to spend time trying to get me right when I was never what you wanted or needed in the first place. That's all I gotta say about that.
Look, you about to throw my phone.
So
go ahead, Tequila.
No, that was some good stuff. That was some good stuff. Anyone else have anything to say to piggyback off of what was just shared with us all?
I was going to say what my phrase always, and it's the same thing he's saying, is that time will always tell. You just give them a little bit of time, which time is precious, so you got to watch how much you do give. But it won't take long, and you'll start seeing what their true agenda is, or even if this is the right situation for you. It just takes a little bit of time for the real person, the real Slim Shady, to stand up. That's all. I mean, that's just the real facts. It don't take long. And you'll see. Just don't, like you said, don't show all your cards. Don't let them know too much info before you really find out who they are.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have a question. How do you all, as it relates to leadership and the male role, how important is leadership in relationships, in your opinion, as a male? And when I talk about leadership, I mean, you know, however you perceive leadership to be, however you apply it in your relationships. How important is it, and your perception of it? And for example, give me examples of how you embody it as well in relationships.
I think so. I'm not married. I'm still single, but I think leadership can go both ways. Obviously, I think the person who has the strongest suit in whatever the couple is going through or working on or whatever the case may be should lead at that point. I think it's give and take. Now, as far as like day to day operations, me as a man, I like to take the lead in handling difficult situations and problem solving. But I feel like your partner is there to help you lead. But also, I think you have to make your partner feel safe for them to trust you to lead. I think I hear all the time as far as like men want women to submit and things like that, and a lot of women like are in their masculine energy. They don't necessarily not necessarily they don't want to submit, but they don't feel safe enough to submit to follow this person down this dark road that they don't know what's next. So I think that's the problem as far as I think it takes for each person, me speaking from a man perspective, to make my partner feel safe enough for her to trust me to lead in any situation.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you.
can I weigh in on that?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. So my wife and I have been married for 33 years. Thank God for that. And you know, what has worked for me, again, to each his own, but I value her input on everything. I make no decisions on my own. I just don't do it. We make all of our decisions. We have discussions and we make them collectively together, with the hopes of making the right decisions for our family. And again, that works. That just works for me. I do echo what my nephew said, Trey said, in that I am stronger at some things than she is, and she is stronger at some things than I am. Recognizing, when a couple recognizes who has that strength, and then being able and trusting and being willing to, allow that person to lead in that area, goes a long way, and will help sustain a relationship, over the hard times, because everyone will go through. I mean, life is like a roller coaster, right? So you will have those tough times, and when you have that trust, and you can rely on, the other person to stand by you in your decisions that you guys make collectively, it will go a long ways with your relationship.
Good stuff. Anybody else?
Yes, 100% agree with Uncle Willie and Trey. I consider myself a evolved traditional thinker, like when it comes to like relationships and sex roles, right? So if we look at generations past and we look at our grandparents and how they conducted business, and our parents and how they conducted business of a more traditional role, maybe in the grandparent era, the man was the breadwinner, and the wife to the lesser extent, right? He may have made a little bit more, whatever, right? But as we've moved forward, I think that seriously traditional mindset is a bit antiquated for what's going on in present day, right? So I don't want a woman that necessarily needs me, right? I want a woman that stand on her own feet, she's strong, but I'm there because she wants me around. Okay. And that speaks a lot, but I feel like we're equals. The part that really resonated with me to what Uncle Willie said was that there are things that you are just better than me in. Maybe you're more driven when it comes to like working out. So you lead the family exercise, right? You're the one motivating us to the gym or whatever, because that's your thing. But I also am traditional, and if you look at the 5 love languages, I'm an acts of service kind of person, right? So I'm the dude that's gonna cut the grass, fix your car, put up the ceiling fan, paint. I'm gonna do all those things that maybe you don't want to do, But if the particular lady I'm dating is like great in crafts and interior design and she want to do all that stuff, you know, more power to you. But as a couple, I think your individual strengths should complement each other so that as a couple, you're stronger than either one of you would be on your own. It's not a competition. It's a team.
I love that.
Thanks.
It should be a compliment. You know, I love that. I love that. We do have questions. I don't want to omit those. So let me get to our first question. It says, "What is the biggest turnoff and or deal breaker when you meet a new single mom, a single woman? When you meet a woman, what is the first thing you notice? Does size really matter? Occupation, salary matter?" So,
If I may chime in on that one.
okay, go ahead, yo, and
Um,
welcome.
yeah, and congratulations on the year anniversary. I'm sorry about the introduction,
Oh, you're
but
fine.
I'm married. Um, but when it came to when I was single and when I met my wife, the biggest thing with me, what stands out with me, is how a woman carries herself, how she presents herself. A lot of women have this mentality of I can dress a certain way and things like that. Well, that is a big turnoff to me. A woman that carries herself in a way respectable, um, especially when you're looking to talk about the end goal, which is marriage and trying to spend your life with somebody. You know, if she's carrying herself what I call wholesome. And I'm not this male chauvinist that's sitting saying, "Oh, a woman can't do this." I think there's plenty ways that a woman can dress sexy without being so provocative or whatnot. So I think the biggest turnoff for me when I was single was seeing women that were showing the entire world their body and things like that. I don't care about size. I don't care about if you're able or willing or whatever you got going on financial, because I believe I'm a strong enough man that I can carry the load and build and help build you up to a place where we are on an even playing ground, kind of like the other brothers here on the panel was saying, you know. But I think in a relationship, one should all, like they say, wherever you weak at, be able to lift that other person to that level so that you're on an even playing field. So I don't care about those things as a turnoff, but the biggest thing to me is how a woman carry herself, the way she dresses. If she's out speaking vulgar languages and stuff like that, that was my biggest turnoff while I was in the single world.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate that. So you believe balance is definitely important to balance one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I'll chime in.
Okay.
So one of the biggest, and I'm single, so one of the biggest things for me, well, turn off is when I meet a woman and I go out with her, and the first thing she tells me is that I'm celibate, I'm abstinent, I'm not having sex or anything like that. That's cool, but how can you be so arrogant and to think that I want to sleep with you? You know what I mean? It's like you're already saying that, hey, this is what I know you're thinking, so let me go ahead and kill that right now. And it's like you're just arrogant to think that every person wants to sleep with you. You know, if you're celibate, that's cool. That's between you and whatever vow you made to the Lord, or whatever you're doing. If you cleansing yourself or whatever the case that may be, that's on you. Now, if I approach you in that manner, then yeah, sure, tell me what's going on. But if I don't approach you in that manner and that's the first thing that you tell me, that is a turnoff for me. It's like you're arrogant. That's just arrogant. Size, no, size doesn't matter. It's more so like someone else said, just how that woman carry herself. You know what I mean? Just how she carries herself. What's the other question? Occupation, salary. Not even an issue. I mean, I don't care about how much money you make. It is not It's not an issue. But what is an issue is that if you don't know how to handle those finances, because my job as a man, I feel, is to provide for the household, right? I don't need your money to take care of the household, but I need you to be able to take care of your lifestyle. I need you to be able to take care of those other things that you have going on, right? Because when you do that, then you're straight and everything else over here is straight, right? So I create an environment for you to grow spiritually, emotionally, financially, and I try to create a safe environment where you can go out and explore and do some things. Like if you want to start a business, a ministry, or whatever the case that may be, you can go out there and fail and learn those lessons, but the household is still not affected. You know what I mean? So, and your salary really doesn't, your salary really doesn't matter. Is what you do with that salary. That's it.
So when you meet a woman and off top, she is all about her celibacy and wanting to convey that to you, is that a deal breaker for you, or is it just something you just don't like?
No, it's just something that I don't like. It's not a deal breaker if I, explain to her, how I feel about it or whatnot and how she came off and it's adjusted, then cool. But if she, 10 toes down on what she's standing on, then yeah, it's a deal breaker.
Okay.
So on that topic, not the deal breaker part, but first impressions, right? I have a good example because there's a woman I met and have taken a couple trips with here recently, and she had this effect on me when I first met her. It was her energy that drew me in, right? Because if like all the things in your life that create the level of balance, that you got all these things going on in the inside, both mental, emotional, physiological things going on the inside, but what you project on the outside is the culmination of all of that, right? And when I meet somebody, it'd be in an elevator, it'd be at a coffee shop or whatever, and they a little bit stank, or they a little bit, having a bad day or whatever. Well, we all go through something. We all go through familiar losses. We all got that cousin that's crazy. We all got that stuff, right? But when it's all said and done and you talking to somebody new, what's your energy like? Because I can tell in the first 10, 15 minutes of talking to you, whether you okay or whether you got issues, right? And if you're okay and you're balanced and you're generally happy, and I'm not saying like super giddy to where you're silly. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I feel like your energy is positive and you have a somewhat pleasant disposition. We can start there and move on. I feel like people in general, if you find somebody that you're a good connection with, you should get along with that person like 85% of the time without even trying. When we're around each other, we just kind of click. And every now and again, we have a disagreement or something like that. But in general, our chemistry and our aura, like it flows. That's what I'm looking for. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Great stuff. Great stuff. We have another question here. It says, what do you believe is the biggest misconception women have about men when it comes to relationships?
Easily. And I'm probably sure the majority of the brothers on this panel will agree is that all men are dogs. I think that's the biggest misconception I've found. Again, once when I was in the dating world, and to have young men, sons, coming into their own around the age of 20 and 21 and things like that, and their dating lives and things. I remember last year I made a statement where I said, I don't blame women of today for the issues in the dating world from the women's side. I think it was the treatment of my father and grandfathers of those grandfathers that treated women so bad that they're so confused to think that all men are out to hurt them, or like the brother was saying, you just here to sleep with me and things like that. So they have this concept that all men are dogs from the start, and they tend to damage and hurt and mess up a relationship before you even get it off the ground good, because their parents, their mother have already told them, that men aren't, this and they're trash and things like that. And that's what they go into the relationship looking for. So I think if it was like they were saying, take your time, don't be upfront and honest, well, not upfront and honest, but don't put all your cards on the table. Just see where this go. Allow this man to show you who he is while you showing him who you are, instead of going in with the misconception that, oh, he's going to cheat, he's going to be this, he's going to be that. When you start thinking like that and looking like for things like that, you'll damage it before it even get off the ground.
I agree with that. I like that. I think that sometimes though, it is shaped by, learned experiences, upbringing, but then oftentimes it's shaped by, their own traumas and experiences with men that have, programmed them to believe that all men, or at least most men, are that way. So, battling with internal issues and just not to the realization that that is an issue. So,
Right.
definitely something that, women, men as well, we all have to work on.
Right.
To further develop your question a little bit, right? I don't feel like the principal problem is misconceptions that women have. I think the principal problem, like, here's something that men and women can connect with right away. When we were in our 20s, we stumbled through life, right? We were making decisions based on like our immediate feel goods, right? Without necessarily thinking about the consequences. So we made a lot of mistakes. We transitioned through several relationships, all that. Then in our 30s, we kind of had it figured out a little bit, and we weren't making as many mistakes, but we're still a little bit worried about what others thought, all of that. By the time you get in your 40s, you don't give a damn what everybody else thinks. Your circle gets smaller, and you start to focus on what you need to like get along. That's when the clarity starts. And then once your 50s come in, it's that way. But now you're even telling the people that are pissing you off like exactly what you don't like about them. Like, you're not keeping it to yourself, right? So I see myself going through all those transitions. And at this age, I'm 54. And when I meet women that have like left their 30s and are into their 40s and 50s, it's not a misconception that I'm battling against. What I'm battling against is all the scars, right? All the scars from the previous relationships, right? And so I was thinking about this because I'm a hands-on kind of person, right? Every year I try to do something to like, better myself. And this year just happened to be metalworking. I learned how to weld this year, right? And so as I was thinking about like the main point I wanted to make today, if I got an opportunity to bring it up, it was about scar tissue and life's experiences. If each woman on this panel goes back to their teenage years, or maybe even age 10 or less, when you was a little girl playing with dolls and fantasizing about what relationships were going to be like, and you wanted to be a princess and you wanted a Ken doll, you wanted all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Your parents may have said things to you like, you're so loving, or you're so caring, or one thing that's really great about your personality is how trusting you are. And as you move through life and men in your life did not meet your expectations, they started to change those things about you, right? We're all individuals and we all have great things about us. What I hate to see is when somebody is a beautiful person because of this thing, but because they had one or two or three bad experiences, they no longer trust enough to give that part of themselves what makes them really special, all right? So how I tie all that to metal is that if you take the bad men in your life and you say that they are abrasive and they either scratched you, right? You're metal, soft metal. They either scratched you, dented you, whatever. You take any metal and you sand that thing and polish that thing, in the end, it's going to be nice and shiny and beautiful and polished.
Come on now.
Right? I'm trying to reel you in, right? So the sum total of everything that has happened, that is, you kissed a few frogs, bad things happen, all of that, isn't that you're this broken woman that's left that doesn't trust anybody. These things gave you clarity. How do you meet me and I'm a good dude, right? how do you value good if you haven't had any bad?
Come on.
Right? So this is a perspective thing, right? Don't be all, into your feelings and upset about what most men have to offer. Those frogs served a purpose, and you should thank them for showing you what you didn't want. So when you meet one of us on the panel, you give us the props we deserve for doing what we're supposed to do to take care of you. Bruises, scars, and blemishes all turn in to fine metals, jewels, and a high gloss shine if your mind is right. So just take care of yourself and give yourself time to heal after somebody puts a burr or a nick or a scar in you, so that when you meet one of us, we're having a conversation and we're not dealing with the transgressions of the last three guys. We start on the even keel and we move forward. And I try to do the same in my life to make sure that I'm not, holding something against you. You do a thing. That thing is the first time you ever did it. I shouldn't treat you like it's the 101st because the last chick did it 100 times before.
That's right.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and I think that works both ways because I've dated men who been married more than once, and so they're they feel like they have a different perspective on marriage because of the experiences they had with their previous marriages. So it doesn't taint what I view marriage as and what I want, as my, end goal for marriage. However, you know, it just, it's one of those things where you have to say, you got to make sure that your mental and what you view and what you want, lines up with what your end goal is. Like, I know this is what I want. And at the end of it, my journey is for that. And so, I'm sticking to it. So, I'm going to heal and go through what I need to go through to get to that blessing or to that end journey thing, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to keep repeating cycles and processes, and mistakes to keep going through the same thing over and over again, and doing the things that I, know that I should have learned from the last lesson. So
That's right. We definitely have to, all of us as adults, we owe it to ourselves. It's a sense of accountability for ourselves to do the self work. If you've been traumatized, experience trauma, recognize and identify it as such before you can move on and move forward. Sometimes you have to heal. And, that's a personal thing, that's an intimate thing, and it has nothing to do with anyone or, that you might meet or encounter. It's for yourself. You have to do that for yourself in order to really value, appreciate, and even recognize and identify what's to come when when you meet others.
right. So then you won't think everything is an attack on you, like, oh, I can accept that person's opinion or their person's view, and then don't feel like it's an attack on me. But we have another. I like this one because I feel like I'm an alpha woman, so this one is a good one. So being an alpha woman and letting my guard down for a man to take charge, and when he drops the ball, not because he can't be the alpha man, but because he is being lazy, is a major turnoff and can also affect affection, and respect. It's not that I can't do, but I'm making room for him to do. Am I being too hard with expectations?
What is an alpha female or alpha woman? What is that?
I would say an alpha woman is a woman who's always had to take charge, or be in the lead position, not necessarily because she wanted to. It might be necessary because she had to. Maybe she was a single mom or a divorcee, wherever the case may be. But circumstances put her in a position where she had to be in a position of the alpha woman, where she's in a position where she's leading a household. She's leading in a position as a parent that's providing for the whole entire household. So she's making a decision for a whole entire household. So that's what I consider what an alpha woman is.
Okay, so that's basically an adult. That's all that is an adult. So
Well, in terms of relationship, not so much. I mean,
yeah,
in terms of relationship with the male, because tradition would have it such that a man would, play the dominant role, be the leader. In terms of relationship, the alpha female is that female who assumes that dominant role, that leadership role, as opposed to allowing and preserving a space for the male to do so.
okay.
Right.
From my perspective, I think we just using titles like alpha. Like, how do you label yourself as an alpha male or alpha female? I mean, I don't think you should do that because that title represents so many other things that just may not be true about you. I mean, if you're a single mom and you're doing what you have to do, you're just being an adult and taking care of your family. That's all that is. Um, for for the question, I mean, no, you're not being too hard with expectations. I mean, you have your own expectations. I think you should just drop the label because that label doesn't mean anything. And if you are um, dating somebody who you think is weaker than you, then you might want to just move on from that. But that alpha male or alpha woman title is no, it's misleading. It's
Okay. Anyone else on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I just want to comment on that. I
Go
actually think it's a great question because, you know, some women are very aggressive, and that can be a good thing and it can be bad things according to who the other person, that's considering dating them. So for you to for that person to recognize that, that I have one of these very dominant, aggressive, kind of personalities, is plausible, right? So nothing wrong with it. I just think it's good for people to recognize that. Not all men like aggressive women. Might some it doesn't bother, but not all men like that kind of woman. So for you to recognize that and then adjust your behavior, goes a long way. And I think, and I'm seeing a lot of stuff pop up in these questions about financial responsibility, and a lot of people are commenting about jobs and salary. I think for most men, and again, I've been married for 33 years. That's usually the last thing most men are thinking about. You know, how financially stable you are, how well you can take care of yourself. Because
Mhm.
most people are going to try to date someone. At least I would assume, they're someone that is independent and can stand on their own anyway, and not be attracted to, women who are just seeking someone that they can. I hate to say this, but leech off of. I don't think most men that would be a major turnoff. If they even get a sense that you're after them just for your money. Or
Okay, Donnie.
Yeah, so there's been a couple of statements that come across at the bottom that were saying that they probably meant independent woman a little bit more than alpha, which I agree with some people here. Alpha is kind of putting somebody in a box and kind of giving you this stature of a thing, and I feel like it was probably led more towards single mom who's had to deal with it and figured out how to make it and is successful with what they're doing. But a little bit about my little story I got going on is my fiance is a businesswoman herself. She owns her own company. I own my own company. That could be a perfect storm if you do not watch it because financially, I don't need her. Financially, she don't need me. So I find that great because of my past commitments with women. You was the breadwinner or whatever the situation was, you had to stand up financially. I think it's lovely. She don't need me financially because that brings it back around to my character. Regardless of what I look like, somebody likes me for me. They don't need me for what I can bring to the table or what I can do. She likes me for me, and so that's really awesome. But when it comes to that person feeling like, are they asking too high standards or not? I guess it would need to go to not what do you expect out of them, but do you love them for who they are, and is it okay for them to fail, or is this an issue that you're not willing to back off of? Because if it is, you may not be compatible, because it's obvious he's already showing signs of failing in that area. Because we all gotta like he was talking about the metal. We all gotta shape ourselves. He was talking in another manner, but as far as being in a relationship, we got to mold together to work together. So if you're not willing to give, then that may be a first sign that it's not possibly not going to work. But is it something that you can bend on? Because that's what relationships are about. Is I give up this area so she can be happy, and she gives up this area so I can be happy, and we work together for that. But I think that would be the way to for that question. I think it would be looked at as not are you holding your standards too high, but is it okay for him to fail in that area in your eyes and you be okay with it? Because if not, it's obvious that he's not going to make it where he's at. And I just want to congratulate all the guys in here because y'all holding your own. Like I think of something good to say, and y'all busting out there with it. Like I think we all got the same mindset. Y'all picked a good panel.
Awesome.
Hey, with
Look,
Nubian,
I know all of y'all were gonna be good. I knew all of y'all were gonna be able to contribute something. So, I'm like, yeah, and I know all of y'all personally. So
yeah, I looked forward to this. To Nubian Magnolia's comment, right? It's funny. I provide an alternative view because what resonated to me in her initial comment was not the part about the alpha part, right? The part that resonated to me was when he didn't meet expectations, there was a little blurb in the middle of that paragraph about affection and respect. And that's where I think it gets sideways, right? Because if a person is not meeting your expectations too many times, because I think here's a major chasm that I think is a difference between men and women. For a woman to get into you and give herself to you, like in the physical, the emotional fire has to be stoked first, right?
right.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on in that chemistry, and men, at least me, are not like that, right? I can connect the dots, right? And I can look at just the physical, and I can look at all the other stuff that goes with it. So I know there's a lot of stuff tied to a woman, and maybe it's as simple as we got outies and you got innies. I don't know, right? I don't know the science behind it, but what I do know and what I have experienced in some of the women I've dated is that if they get to a point where they're not happy, either real or imagined, what's going on, and they withhold affection, that's a huge turnoff to me, right? Because I feel like when things aren't right, that's when you have something that you can go back to that ties you to that person. Even though I'm not like the happiest with you in the moment, I still love you, or I still care for you, all of that, right? But if your affection becomes conditional, that is a landmine for disaster down the road.
And that's going to be most women. That's likely going to be most women then.
Got it.
Yeah, I agree because intimacy, yeah, when you talk about intimacy, women are not turned on when they're not when they feel like affection, especially if respect is not there. I don't see a woman ever wanting to be intimate with somebody when she feel like she's not being respected. So, intimacy plays a big role in that. When you
I
talk,
took from that comment that she was losing respect for him and not in the reverse. It was because he didn't take care of things that she was kind of losing respect for him, and that affected the affection. At least that's what I took from it.
okay,
Not necessarily whether the guy didn't respect her or not. I may have got it wrong. I don't know.
I think that's correct, but and to that point, I think that that's gonna be the case with most women. We are emotional. beings, most of us. And if our expectations aren't being met, it's going to affect us intimately. And it is going to be conditional
I
based on
think
what we're receiving in the relationship, in the marriage. That's just a woman's makeup, and that's where we differ when it comes to men.
it's great to have expectations. Um, However, if you don't communicate those expectations clearly and in a positive, calm manner, then that creates resentment, which then people lose respect and things like that. So I think there's nothing wrong with a woman being independent, and if her partner isn't living up to her expectations, then she has to make a choice. Well, she has to go back and review. Okay, did I communicate clearly what my expectations were? Did I give him a chance to make up for those? Did we put together an action plan? Because again, there's a couple, so it's like, okay, what does this look like going forward for you to meet my expectations? Like, you know what you want. So maybe this person doesn't know what that looks like. Maybe they've never experienced an independent woman before, so he doesn't know what the roadmap, from start to finish looks like. So, are you helping him, see your vision?
Mm-hmm.
If not, feel resentment. And I've experienced that. I've wanted my partner to do X, Y, Z, and they didn't do it. But I didn't clearly communicate. I'm like, you know who I am. You know who I am. Why you not? And so at the end of the day, it just built up, and then it was too late at that point. It just kept building on top.
All right. Johnny, did you have something you wanted to chime in on?
Yeah. Of course, there's all kind of little rabbits you can chase through this, but what's the lady at the top? Tequila.
Tequila.
She was making the point that that women are emotional. You're attached to emotions, and that's just the kind of way they are. So if their expectations aren't being met, then that's just going to be the way they kind of feel. And I agree, if the relationship is like really fresh and kind of new, and he's already not making some expectations. But if you're like a few months in, then I think we need to evaluate where we're coming from. Like, is it that you're not willing to give up the independent role to be mutually joined with someone else for the singular role, as in husband and wife and that one spirit kind of thing? Or is it just that, how fresh is the relationship? If it's a little ways down the road and y'all got some time in, then I feel like it may be a self-search situation where he's giving everything he can, and it's just that you're not ready to give up the reins on some stuff. I'm not saying everything, because it takes two to have a unified relationship. It takes two people. But at some point, you got to evaluate that area. Where are you at? Are you getting close to making the next steps of joining together a little bit closer, or is it still in the early stages? So I think that you have to look at it that way as well. How far down the road is your relationship? If it's early on, maybe you can spend a little time to figure him out. If you've been way down the road, then maybe it's a situation where you got to look at yourself and wonder, like the question said, are you expecting too much? So I think it's like I say, we can get into that 100 different ways, but I just think it needed to be said that it's not always the guy. I think was what the question was asking for. It's not always the guy, but at some point you do have to evaluate yourself and wonder where you're at.
That's right. I agree with that, Donnie. You definitely have to, set the expectation and observe and see, if he's, capable of meeting your expectation. Then know when to let go if in fact he's not. And maybe a case where, you're holding on and continuing with your expectation, but he just may not be capable of fulfilling that role for you. And it doesn't mean that your expectation is too high. It just means that he's not capable of meeting that expectation. So therefore he may not be the one for you.
Right.
Exactly.
I just want to address, Yolanda said that when you're giving your all and you're getting the bare minimum, then it's difficult to desire that person. Yes, it is 100%. Because if it's one-sided and you're doing all you can, like I've been in relationships like that, you know, I'm doing all I can, like I'm paying this, I'm you know, bringing you your favorite little treat, and I'm doing all these things, I'm paying attention to you, and I'm getting the bare minimum. Man, it's time to go.
I know. When it ain't
Man, it's time to
reciprocated.
go.
Ooh.
Man, look here, because that's draining. That's draining, and it's like you just, no matter how much you put in, you're not getting anything out. And I would tell anybody, if you think that you're putting more in than you're getting out, then I think it's time for you to leave. I really do. It's exhausting.
Yeah, I agree.
And
Yeah.
just to kind of piggyback off of that, it was when they were saying about the woman being um, emotional and things like that, that if a man is not doing his job, then she lose that desire to be with him, leave intimate with him and things like that. But I agree, it's both ways. You know, if I'm doing everything for you, and Shan, you know my situation and things that I've dealt with in the beginning of my relationship and my marriage, where it was a nonstop thing for me from sun up to sundown. I was doing everything, and all this woman had to do was just lay around and be comfortable. But at the same time, I was at that same junction point where he was just saying I had to decide, like, do I want to put my all into this and see if I can build this woman to understand who her role should be in my life, not because of my expectation, because of who she told me she desired to be in my life. It wasn't who I said I want her to be. It was who she told me she wanted to be in my life. So I did put in the work. I did put in the effort. Like he said, I re-examined myself, like, am I expecting this? Am I doing this? Am I doing this? And it was relayed to her clearly. This is what you told me. This is where we are. This is what I do. This is what you do or not doing or lack thereof doing. And we had to come together and start building on what it is that we desired from the beginning of our relationship. And I can say it was for me, it was worth the wait. It was worth everything that I was going to get to a point that we are at today. So just for piggyback off of the last question, if he's worth it, if you feel he's worth it and you put that time in, it may be a great reward in the end. But like he was saying, if you put all that time in, depending on how deep your relationship is, and he's still not giving you what it is that you think you deserve, or he told you he's willing to give you, then maybe you should re-examine that relationship, that it's not the right one for you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, guys, look, I know that hour goes by really fast. It does with me every week. But I want to personally thank each of you for coming back to Chit Chat Podcast. And I hope, and I know we're going to probably get the request for you guys to come back again, because we got it before. You know, again, this was our most watched episode last year. So that's why I wanted to run it back for our anniversary episode, because I knew it was the favorite episode from the year. So thank you guys for joining us today for our 1 year anniversary. Look, so I'm bringing this on Chit Chat Podcast 1 today.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah. So you guys got to join us today as we hit this 1 year milestone where we launched Chit Chat Podcast last year. And you guys was a great, y'all was a big part of that. And a big part of it where you guys had the most watched episode and most interactive episode with the men panel. And I'm pretty sure it's going to probably be the same today. So thank you guys for contributing to that, and for actually being a part of our show today. And I hope you guys have a chance to come back with us later in the year or 2025. So we would love to have you guys back. All of you guys bring a wealth of knowledge from your experiences and from your journey as well. So any last minute comments before I do my little cheers to some more years of Chit Chat Podcast?
I'd like to leave one closing comment.
Okay.
I feel like, first off, congratulations on your 1 year anniversary.
Thank you, James.
This forum is awesome, and I wish I knew of a men's panel that we could ask candid questions to women, right?
Oh,
So maybe you'll have one where you flip it.
I will.
And allow us to ask some pointed questions, because I learned something today, right?
Okay.
It's not just the women that I'm dealing with that have that strong emotional, compass, right? That amongst the women online today, that's pretty much the consensus, that most women are that way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing I would like to leave the women on the panel with today. I strongly believe that your weaknesses are your strengths overdone. All right. So I'm going to tell you what ended my last relationship. All right. When I first met this woman, I was like, man, she's beautiful, and she's a gym rat. Body is nice. She has a full-time job, and she's a licensed and practicing massage therapist. Got it going on, right? Never would coin her as a lazy person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all of those things, like, I was driven by her independence, and she had been single for quite a long time, never married, never had any kids. What I initially saw as a strength, I later recognized as her greatest weakness. Okay. Because what she was doing is, in the period that she did not have a man, she filled all those blocks that she would have had space for him. She filled all those blocks with things that she was doing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I met her, we dated for some years and built a house together, all of that, moved into the house. And like one day she had a brief conversation with me, and it went something like this. Hey, I want to take this class that shows you how to thrift and, do all things. Cause I know she was all into like her look and wanted to turn her closet several times a year. Well, that wasn't the way she advertised it. Was not what actually happened. What actually happened was she started up another business, right? So she had a full-time 40-hour-a-week job. She was massaging like, 15, 20 people a month. And then she started up a full-time thing. One day I had a conversation with her, and I said, let's just sit down. I had a blank piece of paper. And I said, we all got 168 hours a week. Let's look at your week. So I looked at the time that she spent on the job and her traveling to and from, because she had to drive 80 miles a day. Then we looked at the time she spent massaging. Then we looked at the time that she spent with the clothes business and invoicing and mailing packages and all of that. By the time we were done with all the math on that, she only had 7 hours left in the day. And that didn't include sleeping, running to the grocery store, getting dry cleaning, or anything else. And I told her, like, I honestly don't think you have space in your life for me. That you fantasize about being in a relationship and stuff, but you haven't made any changes to like your life and your schedule to fit me in. So what I feel like is you put me on a shelf and you just want me there for when you want to go to a play or go out for a nice meal. But otherwise, you don't want to be bothered while you're doing your thing. And that's fine. But if you define that and that's what you want, be true to yourself and don't put anybody else through that. Like, live your whole life chasing your dreams, all of that. But don't drag somebody through that thing with you. Like, if you really want a great relationship, commit the time and invest in that like it's your child, right? Nurture that relationship and build on it so it can blossom into something. When I told her that, it was not well received, but it was fact. And I told her, I feel like we're wasting each other's time, right? Because we are moving in two different trajectories. I'm 54 years old, and the older I get, the less I want to work because I want to spend time making memories. Nobody ever on their deathbed wished they had worked more. They may have wished they traveled more, spent more time with family and loved ones, but nobody ever wishes they worked more. And I've never seen an armored truck following a hearse. You can't take it with you. So I'm about the memories and the quality time and the love. And when I realize that I'm with somebody that doesn't share those same general principles, I need to relieve myself of that relationship for both of our sakes, because we want two different things and we are on different trajectories.
Beautifully said. Thank you, Jane. Awesome. Well, look, I think that's a closing remark right there.
We can end on that note.
Right. Look, well, again, thank you guys. I'm going to give some cheers to Chit Chat Podcast and our 1-year anniversary and the journey going forward. Thank you to Keela for co-hosting with me today. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today, and all of our listening audience for this whole year following us, and those who joined us today. Continue to join us every Sunday at 5 p.m. We come live at 5 on Sundays where we chat all things women. We would love to have you, and we're going to take you up on that offer, James, about having a women panel where the men can ask us questions. I think that's a great idea. So women, look, if I tag you and say, hey, I put you on the panel, you'll be a good, person on the panel so you can answer some questions. Look, y'all be ready. So we definitely want to give them what they've given us. So cheers to 1 year, and thank you guys for joining us, and we will chat with you guys later. Have a good one.
All righty.
Congratulations.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.